פרק ב', second chapter, Mishnah ד', fourth Mishnah. ביאור משנה ד'. 3 קורבנות נצטוו ישראל להביא בכל רגל משלושת הרגלים. So every רגל, סוכות, פסח ושבועות, we're commanded to go to the Beit HaMikdash and to bring 3 sacrifices. What are the 3 sacrifices? קורבן עולה הנקראת עולת ראייה, a קורבן that we show ourselves to God. It's called עולת ראייה. Every time we come to ירושלים, we have to show God עולת ראייה, שנאמר 3 פעמים בשנה יראה כל זכורך את פני השם אלוקיך במקום אשר יבחר. It says you have to be seen 3 times a year. How are you seen? By being, you cannot just be seen. You come to visit, you have to bring a present, a קורבן. And why? ולא יראה את פני השם ריקם. It's not befitting to come in front of God without something. So, קורבן ראייה, every time you come to ירושלים, you have to bring a present. לבעל הבית. לבעל הבית. קורבן שלמים, so that's the first one. Every time you come to ירושלים, קורבן חגיגה. קורבן עולת ראייה, sorry. קורבן שלמים הנקרא שלמי חגיגה. Then you have a peace offering that calls שלמי חגיגה. ועל כך נאמר, on this one it says, וחגותם אותו חג להשם, and you should celebrate a holiday for God. שני הקורבנות הללו הם קורבנות חובה. These two are obligated. So every time...
ישראל, כל משפחה צריכה להביא.
Every male, not every משפחה. Every male above the age of 13.
Over 13
you have to bring, that's right.
And you have this,
yeah.
So they can go with the herd to Yerushalayim.
They have to, yeah. Yeah. It's usually they didn't go with the herd, they came with money and they bought it in Yerushalayim. Yeah. קורבן, so this is שלומי חגיגה.
זה 3 כלומר.
2. ראייה וחגיגה.
2 ו-1.
למה 2?
Yeah,
one ראייה, one חגיגה.
One and one, okay.
1 and 1. And then קורבנות שלמים הנקראים שלמי שמחה. לקיים מה שנאמר, וזבחת שלמים ואכלת השם ושימת השם אלוקיך. And then God says, by the way, when you're going to come over there, you're going to celebrate. So all the celebration is also this. ואלה הם אינם חובה בזמן שיש בשר מקומות אחרים. You don't need to bring them as long as you have enough meat from the other sacrifices. In other words, you're supposed to celebrate. How do you celebrate? With meat. So if you don't have enough from the other ones, you have to bring more from these ones.
You gotta have meat.
You have to have meat, yeah. So 2 are obligated, and once these ones are finished, you're supposed to bring other ones also. Because you have to have meat. כל הקורבנות בהמה שמקריב היחיד. All this is an animal that an individual has to bring. בין חובה, בין נדבה, whether it is an obligation, the first 2, בין נדבה, whether it is charitable, like the last one, חוץ מן הבכור והמעשר והפסח. So all the sacrifices except from the firstborn goes to the Kohen, Maaser goes to the Kohen, and the Pesach goes with everybody. Everybody accepts them needs a smicha. They need a smicha. What is smicha? Te'onim smicha, let's say, you need to do smicha to them. You need to lean on their head. Let's put it this way.
Oh,
you know, put your hands. Yeah? Te'onim smicha. Yeah. Yeah. סמיכה, שנאמר, ושמח ידו על ראש קורבנו. It says you should put your hand on the קורבן. כלומר, which means, שבעל הקורבן צריך לסמוך בשתי ידיו, the owner of the sacrifice needs to lean with both hands על ראש הבהמה, on the head of the animal. When? בעודה בחיים בכל כוחו, when it's still alive with all his strength. רמב"ם הלכות מעשה הקורבנות. משנתנו דנה, our Mishnah comes בהבלת עולת ראייה ושלמי חגיגה ושמחה ביום טוב. So we have 3 kinds of sacrifices, right? Okay. The ראייה, the חגיגה, and the extra ones if you need more meat. Okay. In all those things, they require smicha. Right? They cannot walk.
Oh, the 3 of those.
Yeah, all 3 of them require smicha. Now the problem is, smicha is extra work that has got nothing to do with food. So if you bring them on a Yom Tov, are you allowed to do so? Push. Why are you touching the animal? The animal is not muktzeh. Why? Because it's food.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing, if you just want to go on a Yom Tov, right, and touch a chicken, not because it's food, you want to play with it. You want to pet it. Are you allowed to?
No.
It's muktzeh. So over there, smicha. If you want to eat the animal, I understand.
You touch, you pet it, what you doing?
What are you doing exactly? It's muktzeh. That's the question. Okay. ונחלקו בזה בית שמאי ובית הלל. We're going to come to a disagreement. We're going to see between the house of Shammai and the house of Hillel. Let's see. בית שמאי אומרים, the house of Shammai says, מביאים ביום טוב. So this is Yom Tov. You go to the temple on Yom Tov. You're allowed to go with the animals. You're allowed to work with the animals because the animals you're going to eat. The food.
Right.
Yeah? ביום טוב, שלמים. You bring שלמי חגיגה. You bring the chagiga offering, v'simcha, and you need extra meat for the meal. כמו שהזכרנו בהקדמה למשנתנו, like we mentioned in the introduction. Why? לפי שיש בהם צורך לאכילת אדם. These two, I'm going to eat them. Right? So you're allowed to touch them, you're allowed to do anything. Yeah? שהרי שלמים נאכלים לבעלמים. Because this one, you're going to eat. Right? ובית שמאי says, but ואין סומכים עליהם, but don't do smicha now. Yeah? Don't do smicha. Smicha has got nothing to do with the food. But there's a problem, you need to do smicha. But you need to do smicha, right? So when you do it, just do it before. What's the problem? Do it on Thursday.
How? You can.
What do you mean? Take the animal.
Do it before the shechting.
Oh, let's see. ואין סומכים עליהם ביום טוב, and you don't put your hand on them on יום טוב, לפי שצריך לסמוך על ראש הבהמה בכל כוחו, because it says you need to press on the head of the animal with all your strength, כמו שדיברנו לעיל. ואסור להשתמש בבעלי חיים ביום טוב. You're not allowed to use an animal on יום טוב. הילקח אין סומכים על שמי החגיגה והשמחה שמביאים ביום טוב, אלא מערב יום טוב. It says you want to do it beforehand. Yeah, it's okay to, according to Beit Shammai, you don't need to do it immediately before it, you can do it beforehand, so do it beforehand. That's your problem. Yeah, do it beforehand, make sure. If you didn't do it beforehand, tough luck. Next time, do it beforehand. Yeah, no smicha. אבל לא עולות. But he says, an עולה offering, עולת ראייה, you're not allowed to bring. אין מביאים עולות יחיד ביום טוב. You're not allowed to bring the עולת יחיד on a יום טוב. Why? Because you don't eat them.
Oh.
It goes all to the altar.
אבל השם אמר.
Yeah, but it gives you 7 days. You don't have to do it on the first day. Yeah?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the Yom Tov, don't do it.
In the Yom Tov, you do it in the
So 7 days.
Moed.
Yeah, you can do it in the Chol HaMoed on 7 days. לפי שהם כולן למזבח. They're not food, they're muktzeh. Don't even have to touch it. You're not even allowed to bring it to the temple. Yeah? Or as the other ones. Because they're not allowed to be eaten if they're not allowed to...
It's not food.
It's not food.
Bringing,
Exactly. Exactly. לפי שהם כולם למזבח, ואין בהם אכילה לאדם. And the person doesn't eat them. ואפילו עולות ראייה. And even if it's עולת ראייה, that what's עולת ראייה? שהם צורך היום. You need it. That's a commandment. God said, bring the עולה. So what do you mean don't bring it? אינם קרבות ביום טוב. It says, yeah, technicality God says to bring in a יום טוב, but since you can, so technically you have to push him off to the 7 days. שהם צריך היום, אינה קרב ביום טוב. אלא, so when you bring them, בשאר ימות הרגל. It says, tough luck, bring in the other 7 days. You have 7 days, enough time. שנאמר, וחגותם אותו חג להשם. It says, and you shall celebrate it, holiday to Hashem. חגיגה בלבד. בית שמאי says, only the חגיגה that you eat, קרבה ביום טוב, אבל לא, לא טריה. But not, the לא טריה. They're not bought.
You can bring it, but not check it.
That's right. And since you have to be smicha, and you can do smicha, don't even bring it. Bring it the next day. That's what he says. Okay. No, you can't even bring it. According to Beit Shammai. You're not allowed to touch the animal. It's not food. If it's not food, the only thing that allowed you to touch the animal because it's food. Here it's not food, you're not allowed to touch it. You can't even bring it. Forget shechting it. The temple are allowed to shecht it. You're not allowed to touch it. It's very technical over here.
No, if you don't shecht it.
The temple are allowed.
You can't even.
You can't, but if it got there somehow, the temple, the guys in the temple are allowed to shechted on Yom Tov. The Kohanim.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. For them it's not muktzeh, only for you it's muktzeh. For the Kohanim at work, it's not muktzeh.
Even if they don't eat it.
It's not, because it's for God. They're allowed to do. They're allowed to do service of God. They're not allowed to. You're only allowed to eat. Yeah. They're allowed to do. It's a problem with you, not with them.
With them,
Yeah.
They,
In other words, if you made a mistake according to if you made a mistake according to Beit Shammai and you brought the animal to the temple, maybe they're allowed to shecht it. I don't know if they will be allowed to, because maybe they will say you brought it through a sin, so we don't want to. But the technicality, they'll be allowed to shecht it.
They have the Torah.
To shecht it, yeah. So this is according to Beit Shammai. Obviously, we don't do Beit Shammai. Not obviously, but over here we don't do. Beit Hillel omrim. Beit Hillel says, Mavi'im shlamim ve'olot. It says you don't have to worry about it. You can bring the shlamim, the ones you eat. You can also bring the ones you don't eat. Now, Beit Shammai has a... let's see. Mevi'im beyom tov ben shalmei chagiga. So say you're allowed to bring on Yom Tov the chagiga offering, vesimcha, and the extra meat offering if you need. Uben olat riyah. And olat riyah you're also allowed to bring. Shekatuv, chag laHashem. It says, chag to God. So Beit Shammai learns chag to God only chagiga. Only chagiga, it's chag to God. That's what Beit Shammai learns. How Beit Hillel reads chag to God, a holiday to God. Kol shu laHashem. They learn everything that goes to God is a chag, it's considered to be a chag. כלומר שכל הקורבנות שהם חובת יום טוב, they say all the sacrifices that are obligated on that day, מביאים אותו ביום טוב, you're allowed to bring on that day. Says, what are you making distinctions? And not only that, Beit Hillel say, not a problem to do smicha, right before. וסומכין עליהם. Not only proper. See, Beit Shammai doesn't require smicha next to the shechting. Beit Hillel says, no, you have to do smicha, you're not allowed to have a hefsek. In other words, it's like washing the hands for bread. It needs to be immediate. So in other words, if God says to sacrifice, that's right. So if God told me to sacrifice it, it means that I need to do smicha that day. And God knows that I'm going to do smicha that day, so therefore I'm allowed to. It's one of those things. Beit Hillel says, God didn't say you have to do smicha before, right before. He allows you to do even much before. So don't do the smicha on the day, do it the day before. Okay. הואיל והקרבתה מותרת ביום טוב, so Beit Hillel says, since God allows to bring them on the holiday, מותרת גם הסמיכה אליהם. You're allowed also to lean on them. שסוברים בית הלל, because the house of Hillel hold, תכף לסמיכה שחיטה. In other words, immediately before, after you do smicha, you do the shchita. You need to put them together. You're not allowed to have a separation between them. אבל בית שמאי אינם סוברים תכף לסמיכה שחיטה. The house of Shammai don't hold this rule that you have to do it immediately before. It says you can have a hefsek between them. You can have separation between the leaning and the slaughtering. ברם, בקורבנות של נדרים ונדבות, when he talks about sacrifices of somebody makes a vow, or you just want to donate something to the temple, אף בית הלל מודים שאינם קרבים ביום טוב. Even the house of Hillel says, you do not bring those on a Yom Tov. Only the ones that are required by God to bring on a Yom Tov. Then, the other ones, since you can bring it other days, bring it other days. לא עולות ולא שלמים. Why? והואיל ואין זמנם קבוע, because it's not specified time. You can bring the waiver. Why you bring yourself into trouble? ואפשר להביאם ביום אחר. So it's bringing them another day. There's not a specific time, but it says those three sacrifices, God specifically said to bring in on the holiday, on the Chag. And Chag means any of the three.